So, I just made a video about 2 hours ago called Never Follow Your Passion. And unlike all my other videos, which got about 0 hits, this video got a few hits very quickly and then it stopped almost immediately. And I'm pretty sure that happens because the subject is popular, but something in my video wasn't appealing. And so I'm trying to figure out what exactly, I'm trying to pinpoint what that was. Some of my observations are that it's the format, which I'm not willing to change. So when someone opens up a video like this and they see that it's just it's a blank screen and someone talking, they immediately turn it off because it's not what they want to see, even though the thumbnail it is exactly like the rest of the video. Maybe they're thinking, oh, maybe something went wrong with the thumbnail or something like that. But the format for this is just a blank screen. Or the other possibility is that they just don't like my voice, or they don't like the way I talk. And I guess I can't change that. I'm a little bit worried about it. I always thought I had a terrible voice, and I may very well have a terrible voice. But I actually like the way I sound. I was really surprised. I'd been afraid to hear what I sound like. But I actually like the way I sound. I sound quite goofy. I always think I'm being serious, but then when I listen back, I sound like a goofball, and which is okay because I'm trying sometimes to be funny, not always trying to be funny, but sometimes. And then I guess the third, I'm hoping I'm being engaging enough, because if you don't click on this, then no one will see it, because the very first couple of people I think decide if this video keeps on getting played or not, or something like that. There's some sort of engagement rule that I have to be aware of. So the third possibility is that you disagreed with what I said. And to be fair, in that first video, all I really did was called people childish names. And though that's not fair or rational or nice or anything like that, it's really fun to do. I can't emphasize enough that despite it being very immature and childish, it's really quite liberating to just find something you disagree with, and then just call people childish names. just go at them, even though I don't think they like that at all, because I think the video was never follow your passion, and I think people were hoping I would say something similar to Mike Rowe, where he says don't follow your passion. I think that's the name of the video, and it was sort of a response to that. And I guess I just ended up calling people like that fascists and other things. And if you do look at the sort of the tenets of fascism, it is very work-centered, which is why we need to be careful about how much sort of importance we give to work, because in fascist Italy, I think the idea, and I might be wrong, so you can argue with me, but the idea is that the most ideal government would be like a corporation, and the idea is that there would be no division between corporation and government. And also in Nazi Germany, there was a famous sort of quote in Auschwitz, and I think it's "work will set you free." So what I'm saying is you have to be careful. We all have to be careful about how how passionate we become about work. And it's not fair to say, okay, anyone who's passionate about work is some sort of Nazi. That's not fair either. But what I'm saying is, despite the childish name calling, there was some amount of truth behind that, which is that it's not such a great move as a society to become obsessed about work. But what I want to get... Oops. Sorry, I lost the microphone. It's a cheap microphone. What I want to get at is that I want to disagree with you, and I want to do it in a mature way that's respectful, even though calling you childish names is really fun. Really and I really would like to encourage you to find you'll hate this word, a safe space, a place where you feel comfortable being really immature and miserable and just going off on things that you don't like. I can't emphasize enough how liberating that is. But more than that, I just wanted to say that I'd like to find a way to disagree with people, but have them still listen to what I'm saying, or like that that even though I disagree with someone philosophically, it doesn't mean I hate them or that I want them to go away, or that we're mortal adversaries or mortal enemies or anything like that. It just means we disagree, and it's like I'm trying to come up with sort of things that are quite close to a consensus, and then challenge them, because I don't know why. I have always personally resented a person saying something like, "Don't follow your passion." It is true. Right? Like if you take statistics and you look at it, you say, well, only a very small percentage of people are going to succeed at their passion, and most people, the majority, are going to fail. And if you follow your passion, there's a great sort of danger that I guess there's the opportunity cost involved in not following your passion, in that you don't get training for something that would be a better job and would be a better life. And so it's true, but the problem is that I'm trying to sort of say that there's more to life than the dollar amount. And even if you are destroyed by following your passion, there's something more maybe not more significant, but there's something significant in that journey or that existence, that you, even though financially it was a disaster, that a person followed that. And so what bothers me is that when someone says don't follow your passion, they're only speaking in financial terms. And so I think in times of scarcity, it's very hard to not think in terms of finance and like money. And the idea is that every single thing you think about is financial, so that you can say this poem is worth nothing because this poem is nothing. You're doing nothing. You're making nothing with this art because it's not paying you anything. But there's more to it than just the financial reward. There's intrinsic reward, and you can practice. Maybe you're really interested in amateur stand-up comedy for an example, and that gets you nothing. You never get to be an amateur stand-up comedian. But maybe it gives you enough confidence to be to make a better presentation at your job. and that improves work a little bit. But I'm very concerned that the human race is getting too serious. They're getting too serious, and they're too easily hurt if something disagrees with them. So what I'm getting at when I made that first video, it was don't follow your passion, and then I just made fun of people who say that, is that, like, maybe you're wrong, like maybe financially and statistically you're right, but maybe there's a different plane of existence in which what you're doing is very damaging to people. I'll give you an example. My niece is 13, and for the last 3 years she's been quite concerned about her career path, and she was 10 years old, and the reason is because there's so much emphasis on being practical and doing practical things. And so the problem is, as you try to be more practical and do more practical things, you become very rigid, and from this rigidity, right? Nothing new ever exists. So since about 2008, we've become very rigid people and very practical, but nothing new has existed because we're not relaxed enough to take those chances, right? If you think about it, when was the last innovation, right? There was cell phones, touch, but that was a long time ago. And so maybe, like, part of following your passion, so maybe it doesn't make you money, but it relaxes you. And I think that's why it's important. And I think it really stresses out some people, but not all people, if you say don't follow your passion or dreams are unimportant. So if you think about it, maybe you're like, maybe you're right in that there's like this direct path that someone cares about, but maybe there's all this indirect knowledge and practice and joy that a person gets from something that you really shouldn't interfere with. You shouldn't tell people that they shouldn't. Or even worse is that you're telling the next, like, Einstein or Mozart to not do it. And I guess, like, there's a point where someone's so amazingly talented that you just get out of the way because they're like, it's a gift from gods or the cosmos or whatever you want to call it, right? They're talented without any other explanation, without any other training. They're just like a natural gift to the world. But even still, it's like, I think we need to start being careful about making evaluations about other people's lives. Like, if a person says, I'm really into abstract art, and you say abstract art doesn't pay anything, it doesn't give you anything, right? It doesn't give the world anything. Maybe, while their minds are wandering, making crappy line drawing things, they come up with, like, I don't know, they come up with some sort of new way to network computers, because it's like, as their mind is wandering, they see a connection, because they're relaxed and they're having fun. So I guess that's what I'm getting at, is we can be practical, and practical people are important and they're necessary. But if we become too practical, nothing new exists, and then we get bogged down and society stagnates, and we get more adversarial, and we fight over what exists instead of trying to build something new. And so that's what's dangerous, I think, about being so obsessed about work and practical work and defining the boundaries very specifically about what's doing something and what's doing nothing. And so I have to stop now because I don't own a cell phone, so I can't verify that I'm a real person. So I can only make videos that are 15 minutes long. But I hope that, like, gives some clarity if anyone ever watches this. Anyways, that's all I have time for.